1, 2, 3.
I've had my doubts, I've had my reasoning.
Today I'm going to share the story of our wedding weekend. Yay! You see, we had our wedding weekend at a camp in the Adirondacks because we wanted it to be like a big family and friend reunion. James and I both come from very large extended families spread out all over the country, so Thursday afternoon guests began arriving from out of town. We had about 60 people staying at the camp that first night, and a bunch of us went out to get ice cream at the ice cream shop where James and I had our first date.
You are the one I wanna be with.
Each morning at the camp, we all had breakfast together. My mom, mother-in-law, and I had stocked the camp fridge, and the moms had organized some warm dishes to be ready to pop in the oven each morning. We had activities planned all weekend. So James's aunt led a yoga class outside Friday morning, and we also had a hike organized, kayaks and canoes available, a scavenger hunt by James's sister, and of course meals together. That afternoon, the bridal party disappeared for a few hours to the rehearsal. My childhood youth pastor had actually flown in to be our officiant, which was so special. And then we had the rehearsal dinner at the camp, and all the overnight guests came. So many generous family friends had brought a lasagna to share. We also had open mic time for about 2 hours. So tons of friends and family came up and told funny stories about our times together. I will never forget that night or some of those speeches. The next morning was Saturday morning, the day of the wedding, and I wandered out into the kitchen to get food, and I found my sister and cousins camped out, sleeping like on the floor between couches. These are the cousins I'm super close with. I feel like they're all my little sisters, and I try to see them as often as I can, so I woke them up by jumping on them. Then my bridesmaid's mom and I made our way to the hair and makeup salon, where we sipped mimosas and Starbucks while being pampered. Now this is where our professional photographer steps in. Her name is Chelsea Ahl, and she is amazing. If you live in the New England area and need a photographer, check her out. Her website is in the description. So James and I did our first look and all the bridal party photos before the ceremony. At first I balked at that idea, but I ended up being so glad we did it that way, because then we had more time to spend with our guests at the reception. We also got photos with our entire extended families before the ceremony, and this really cute picture with our parents. And so after the ceremony, we were able to head straight to the reception. This is the beautiful church that James found for us to get married in. I'm proud to say that I made these programs, and my friend Melody made these bouquets. They're actually fake flowers, and it cost her less than $200 total to make all of them, plus like boutonnieres for the grandparents and guys. She's amazing. And then the ceremony began, and time stood still. Two of the most precious moments to us were when we took communion and prayed together, and when our mentors prayed over us. Then James and I ate the sandwiches his groomsmen had picked up for us as we drove back to the camp where the reception was being held. My friends Katria and Tracy helped me make these signs pointing the way to the reception, and I love how they turned out. James and I took photos with every single guest and then sent them a copy of the photo afterwards. At James's request, 2 of his friends dressed up as Dumb and Dumber, which was hilarious. And then these are my cousin sisters again, and I love them. We also got funny photos with our siblings because you gotta do that. Then we snuck off to take a few more photos just ourselves as guests enjoyed our authentic Mexican food and ice cream sundaes as a replacement for cake, because ice cream is a big part of our relationship. We also had custom Mad Libs made by my dad for guests to fill in while they were eating, and people could sit outside or inside and with whoever they wanted. And that's when the real highlight of the reception began. We had a talent show. Yes, you heard that right. Friends and family had signed up ahead of time to share a song, a roast, or a dance. And we interspersed those talents with our first dance to Alanis Morissette, toast from the bridal party, the father-daughter dance to a song I'd written for my dad, and the mother-son dance to No Sugar Tonight because James's mom loves healthy eating. We had amazing friends running sound and keeping everything organized behind the scenes, and my cousin and James's sister emceed the whole evening. They were absolutely hysterical. I laughed so much it hurt. At the end of the evening, James presented me with a gift. The letter I'd written him upon our engagement, now in a beautiful frame. And then I gave James my gift, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but it's a quintessential Tiffany thing to do, and I think he really liked it, which was 2 journals of letters that I'd kept to my future husband since I was 16. And then the dancing began. We didn't last much longer before my bridesmaids handed us our plates of Mexican food and we set off on the hour trip to our hotel by the airport. Of course, we stopped at Starbucks on the way in our wedding outfits, which was pretty fun. Back at the camp, the partying went on until the wee hours of the morning. I am just so thankful for all the people who chipped in to make this all possible, especially our parents and our bridal party and so many other friends and family. And that is the beautiful story of our wedding.